But it was a sexual relationship.
Yes, it was.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor, we were not. So that's why I'm mainly upset. You were there for the 25 minutes of pleasure. Well, it's been 9 months and I bought every diaper.
We ended up having protected sex that night, and then we ran out of condoms. While we were doing it, I told him to go ahead and get me pregnant. That's what I told him. And as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I called DeMarcus and let DeMarcus know I'm pregnant right now. And it's a possibility that it's Ladarius's baby or your baby.
The courtroom buzz kicks off with Jerome, the ever-diligent bailiff, calmly telling everyone to take a seat as if we're about to watch a movie and not a real-life drama unfold. The case of Reed versus Austin is called out to Judge Lake with a sense of anticipation thick in the air, while a casual hello and you're welcome exchange between Jerome and Judge. Lake adds a touch of sitcom vibes to the mix. You'll want to buckle up for this ride. It's about to get wild.
Ms. Reed, you are demanding that Ms. Austin have a paternity test administered on her child, whom she claims was fathered by your estranged husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're hoping the DNA test will prove that your husband is not her baby's father. Additionally, you are suing his mistress, Miss Austin, in the amount of $5,000 for alienation of affections.
As if called in from the bullpen, Miss Austin steps up to the plate with her side of the story, which feels like it's straight out of a rom-com, minus the romance, and frankly, the comedy. She met Roniel under the pretense that the coast was clear. No rings, no strings. Discovering his marital status via Facebook, of all places, she confronts Roniel, only to be met with excuses that seem to have been crafted in the depths of a bad fiction writing workshop. Miss Austin's justification for continuing the affair? A classic case of he wouldn't be with me if everything was fine at home, coupled with a dash of I'm not the villain if I didn't know. Just when you think you've heard it all, the rabbit hole goes deeper.
How did you get involved with a married man? We hear before the marriage and continue.
When I met Roniel, they was not married. He nor told me that they was engaged neither. I found out on Facebook of their marriage life. That's when I found out. And yes, I did confront Roniel about, but at the same token, Roniel would never came to me if Dominique was Miss Reed was taking care of home, right?
You didn't have any regret or remorse about it because you felt like if she was handling her business, he wouldn't be over talking to you.
In a moment that feels more scripted than reality, Judge Lake decides it's time to bring Mr. Wallace into the mix, as if he's the special guest star on this episode of the Courtroom Chronicles. The anticipation builds as if we're about to meet the final boss in a video game, setting the stage for confrontations and revelations that are bound to be more explosive than a season finale cliffhanger. You can't make this stuff up, or maybe you can?
Are fighting over. Jerome, I want to meet Mr. Wallace. Can you please escort him into the courtroom?
How you doing?
Mr. Wallace, let me ask you. You married to Ms. Reed.
Enter Mr. Wallace, the man, the myth, the legend, whose actions have sparked this entire fiasco. His casual admission of infidelity and the subsequent lack of remorse is delivered with the flair of a villain monologue, sans the dramatic lighting and evil laugh. His defense boils down to a mix of boredom and a critique of domestic skills, painting a picture of a man whose commitment is as fleeting as his memory of being married. Just when you thought the drama had peaked, Mr. Wallace takes it to new heights.
Sleeping with Ms. Austin. You had a baby with Ms. Reed. You might have a baby with Ms. Austin.
Allegedly.
You busy. You just standing there, Mr. Wallace, like you don't have a piece of remorse in the world. Now, you don't?
No, ma'am.
You don't have any issues with cheating on your wife?
No, she's not a victim.
She's not?
No.
Oh, fill us in.
Judge Lake, in a moment of clarity amidst the maelstrom, addresses the alienation of affections lawsuit with the gravitas of a seasoned judge dealing with a circus. The ruling in favor of Miss Austin adds another layer of complexity to the narrative, reminding everyone that in the court of law, like in love and war, all is fair. The anticipation for the next act of this drama builds as the audience wonders, how can they possibly top this?
I'd rather for it to be his because I feel like ever since Roniel had other kids on, my kids get the short end of the stick. They rarely see their dad. Like when I take them to see him, I have to like leave them with him in order for them to spend time with their father. I feel like before her child even got in the picture, Roniel was there for my kids for whatever. Like watched them, gave them whatever. But now that Mrs. Austin's child is in the picture, my kids have to suffer. And I feel that it's not right.
The paternity test reveal is the drumroll moment.
Comes to baby Demuriel, Mr. Wallace, you are her father.
Told you, dummy. She looks just like you, dummy. Everything, dummy. I found out about soon to be
Correction. Oh my God.
Correction.
Oh my God.
Roniel told me that he wasn't marrying anyone else. Sorry, so I'm sorry that he's where Roniel told me. Didi, chill, chill, Didi. Chill, Didi. Chill. Let's do it.
Real talk.
Killing you down. Killing you down.
The court session begins with the judge being greeted and Jerome, the bailiff, announcing the case of Anthony versus Porcio. Buckle up, this is going to be a wild ride.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Anthony versus Porcio.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Anthony, you claim you had a short-term relationship with the defendant, Ms. Bouchot, who was initially excited when you told him you were pregnant. But now you are furious.
Did everyone in the courtroom just gasp, or was it just me? The judge inquires about Mr. Porcio's involvement with the child, leading to a revelation that he has provided no support, prompted by Miss Anthony's assertion that the child was not his. I can't wait to see what happens after the commercial break.
So, Ms. Anthony, what has Mr. Bouchot done for your child?
Not a damn thing, Your Honor. Nothing. Not a diapers, not wipes, not formula,
That's
not
only
anything.
because she told me that the child wasn't
I'm getting to
mine.
that. I did tell him that the child was not his, but Your Honor, he was not in a very good place in his life. He was partying, and I was partying too, but once I found out I was pregnant, I put all those things aside.
This just turned into a rom-com gone wrong. The court explores the nature of the relationship between Miss Anthony and Mr. Porcio, highlighting their casual, party-focused relationship that led to an unintended pregnancy. I'm half expecting a wacky neighbor to burst in any minute now.
Did you tell him he was the father at first, or that
Yes,
he wasn't?
he was there when I took the pregnancy.
But
Your
she
Honor.
told me that I wasn't the father.
Later on,
She
I
told
did
me
tell her you
that
wasn't the father.
her ex-boyfriend was the father, that she was pregnant before she met me.
And now you say he's denying the baby, but
because-
you admit to telling him he wasn't the father.
Yes, ma'am, I did, and I understand that was me being in the wrong. That was 100%. Most of this is my fault.
You know, just your typical Tuesday afternoon chat about unprotected sex and partying. A discussion about the couple's lack of commitment and contraceptive use sheds light on the complexities of their situation, and Miss Anthony's subsequent decisions regarding the paternity of her child. Bet you didn't see that coming, or maybe you did. No judgment.
Like, that's
That's
what
true.
our relationship consisted of. No, we didn't argue and all that, but neither one of us were ready to be in a relationship nor have a child.
But it was a sexual relationship.
Yes, it was.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor, we were not. So that's why I'm mainly upset. You were there for the 25 minutes of pleasure. Well, it's been 9 months and I bought every diaper.
And now, for a twist of Maury Povich proportions, the introduction of text messages and evidence aims to clarify the timeline and nature of the relationship, including Miss Anthony's statements about the paternity of the child. Who needs reality TV when you have this?
You all were in this relationship and you were having sex without protection.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point you figure out you're pregnant. You take a test and he's with you.
Yes, ma'am.
But when you took the test and it came back positive, you immediately told him you're not the father?
Oh, no, not immediately. Well, we went to
Actually,
bed
she
that
did.
night and I laid there all night and was like, I can't do this. My son deserves better, or my child at the point I didn't know as
After
well.
she took the test, she looked me dead in my face and was like, "It's not yours."
That is a lie and you know it. Don't be lying up in this courtroom.
Enter the mystery husband, because why not add more characters to this drama? Mr. Porcio's witness, his husband, provides testimony that complicates the narrative, offering insights into conversations and interactions that question Miss Anthony's claims about the paternity. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if a long-lost twin showed up.
He cheated on me with his spouse now. That is how that happened.
Actually,
And he begged
I
me to
cheated
stay
on my
and I
spouse
left.
with you.
And now you're married, Mr. Bouchot,
Yes, ma'am.
happily.
Yes, ma'am.
You have brought a witness.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I would like to have Jerome escort the witness into the courtroom. I'd like to hear from them.
Look at that baby. How you gonna deny him? Look at his nose.
I only denied
Look at
because
his
you told me it
eyes.
wasn't mine.
Look at his.
Please state your name for the court.
Michael Pusho.
So there was another guy at the hospital, but not in a Grey's Anatomy steamy love triangle kind of way. The court delves into the details of Miss Anthony's decisions after the birth of Matthew, including her choice to have another man present at the birth and listed on the birth certificate. Just when you think you've got the story straight, they throw in a curveball.
At that time, I'm so confused. You've told him he wasn't. At the time the child was born, were you telling him he was the father?
I told him he wasn't. At
He
that
wasn't.
Time. I was.
So he wasn't present for the birth.
No, he was not, and I feel wrong. I stripped him of that, and that was wrong.
The man that was present for the birth signed the birth certificate.
Yes, ma'am.
And he who I was told was the father.
So there was another man at the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he think Matthew was his child?
No, ma'am. He knew the whole time that he was not the father.
That's not what he was posting on Facebook.
Here come the waterworks, folks. Mr. Porcio shares his emotional desire to be a father and his background in foster care, emphasizing his commitment to taking responsibility if Matthew is indeed his son. I'm not crying, you're crying. Okay, maybe I'm crying a little.
I was raised in foster care. I'm not a dirtbag, and I don't want him to see me as one if he is my child. I've been in over 40 different foster homes. I've been in and out of the system. I don't want that for him. He doesn't deserve that. He didn't ask to be brought into this world. If he's mine, we consummated, we made him. It's our job to give him everything he needs and take care of him.
Very
that's-
well said.
Drum roll, please. The DNA test results are revealed.
Mr. Bouchot, you are the father.
The court shenanigans kick off with Jerome, our trusty court clerk, probably thinking about his lunch break while introducing everyone. The judge pops in with a cheerful hello, probably wondering if her coffee is strong enough for today's drama. Then boom, we're slapped with the case title, Patterson vs. Knight, promising a saga over 4-year-old DeMarcus Patterson Jr.'s paternity. Strap in, because this roller coaster is about to leave the station.
Mr. Patterson, you opened your case today to prove that you are 4-year-old DeMarcus Patterson Jr.'s biological father. You named him and have cared for your junior since birth and are furious the defendant now claims another man is his father.
And now for a twist. Ms. Knight waltzes in, dropping the bomb that Mr. Patterson might not be the champ after all. She's been upfront about the paternity puzzle from the get-go, adding a spicy layer of mystery to this family recipe. This moment turns the courtroom into a daytime TV goldmine, with audience members already picking sides. Next up, the plot thickens, and you won't believe who else is involved.
Yes, Your Honor.
But now there's doubt as it relates to the mother. You contend that Mr. Patterson is not DeMarcus's biological father?
I let DeMarcus know when I got pregnant that there was a possibility that I could be pregnant by someone else.
So you were honest from the start?
From the beginning, yes.
Do you remember this conversation, Mr. Patterson?
Yes, Your Honor, in a way. When she first told me she was pregnant, that's when we was like...
Just when you thought it was straightforward, the tale spirals into a soap opera-worthy narrative, featuring a love triangle, a breakup, and a rendezvous that changes everything. Ms. Knight and Mr. Patterson's rocky love boat hits a storm when she reveals a potential second daddy in the mix, making the paternity mystery more tangled than headphones in your pocket. Grab your detective hats because we're about to dive deeper into this paternity puzzle.
I'm just going by what
So,
we
Ms.
both
Knight, where did you go? What is going on here?
I decided to leave because I wasn't over the fact that he cheated on me with this female. So yeah, I did that. But I found out I was pregnant while I was with Ladarius.
When you left, ended up with Mr. Siegler, which is the other possible father.
We ended up having protected sex that night, and then we ran out of condoms. While we were doing it, I told him to go ahead and get me pregnant. That's what I told him. And as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I called DeMarcus and let DeMarcus know I'm pregnant right now. And it's a possibility that it's Ladarius' baby or your baby.
Enter stage left. The plot twist, Mr. Siegler, potential dad number 2, strides into the courtroom, probably feeling like he's stepped onto a reality TV show set. He's here to throw his hat into the ring, claiming he's got just as much a shot at being DeMarcus Jr.'s real dad based on some intimate timing and emotional connections. Hold on to your seats. The truth bomb is about to be dropped.
I think it's time I hear from Mr. Siegler. Jerome, can you please escort Mr. Siegler into the courtroom? Thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure.
As you are aware, we are discussing the paternity of DeMarcus Patterson Jr., a young boy who has Mr. Patterson's name, could potentially have your DNA.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe you are DeMarcus Jr.'s biological father?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Moment of truth, folks. The air is thick with anticipation as the DNA results are about to be revealed, and you can cut the tension with a knife or a gavel.
Determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Siegler. You are DJ's biological father.
Can you even handle what's about to happen? Jerome kicks off the case of Moody vs. Brackens with a flair, and Judge Lake throws out a welcome like we're about to start a game show, not a court case. Here, we have the makings of a daytime drama involving Ms. Moody's 2-year-old daughter, Ray Lynn, and it smells like we're in for a wild ride. Grab your popcorn, folks.
Ms. Moody, you have petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 2-year-old daughter, Raylan. You hope these results will save your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brackens, you say the plaintiff admitted to sleeping with another man, and your doubt is overwhelming. But if the DNA results shock you, you'd consider staying together.
Get ready for a heartstring tug of war. The couple dives into the saga of their love under the shadow of paternity doubt, with Mr. Brackens playing the role of the devoted maybe dad since day one. It's a tale of love, diapers, and DNA tests. Spoiler alert, this is about to get as messy as a toddler with spaghetti.
I look at this little girl every day, Your Honor, and I've been there for her since day one. I was there cutting the umbilical cord and everything, and I broke my back, Your Honor. I built a foundation, and this means the world to me. It means everything to me.
But the doubt
that
permeates through the fabric of your family is wreaking havoc.
Yes, Your Honor. It's destroying us right now.
I can see it in both of your eyes.
Flashback time. The backstory of Ms. Moody and Mr. Bracken's roller coaster relationship unfolds, including their high school roots, post-grad drift, and social media, rekindling that leads to this paternity pickle. It's got more twists than a pretzel factory, and Ms. Moody admits to juggling struggling men, like a circus performer, adding layers to this already complicated love load. Stay tuned, the plot's about to thicken.
Your Honor, I take fault for that. Anthony and I grew up together, went to school together. We've known each other for a very, very long time. After graduating high school, we went our separate ways. He went to school, I went to school. Caught back up, Anthony was away, he was out of town for a while, and we were contacting each other over social media. Just through social media messages and conversations, I was literally head over heels for him. I fell in love with this man.
Drama alert. Mr. Brackens gets the 411 on Ms. Moody's other man from a family snitch, sparking a showdown that leads to a love declaration and a relationship ultimatum. It's like watching a rom-com that suddenly turns into a thriller. But don't switch channels yet. The real drama is just around the corner.
Your Honor, the whole time I was away, it felt like we were in a committed relationship. It was one-on-one together the whole time we were together. And like, I come back home and it was someone else and...
Oh!
Yeah.
I was playing two parts. I was playing two roles in life. I was being two totally different people. I would come, Mr. Brackens, and I would act like, you know, it wasn't acting because I did feel it. The emotions, the feelings were there. I was in love with him, caught up in this life that I had been living behind his back while he was, that I didn't know how to put it into that.
Just when you think it's safe to go back in the water, Ms. Moody discovers she's pregnant after a rendezvous roundup with both contenders. The timing is so soap opera perfect. You couldn't make this up. It's like finding out your lottery ticket is a winner, but you might have to split the jackpot. Grab your floaties. We're diving deeper.
So how soon after you broke up with the other man did you find out you were pregnant?
A week and a half.
So the doubt is real.
The doubt is very real.
Yes.
Man, for being there from day one, because he's knew ever since then, the day that he gave me the ultimatum to be with him or to be with this other man, and I chose him.
Enter the potential other dad, throwing shade and doubt all over the place by claiming baby Ray Lynn looks like his mini-me. It's a plot twist that not even M. Night Shyamalan saw coming. Ms. Moody's in a parental pickle, and the drama's dialed up to 11. Fasten your seatbelts. We're heading into a hurricane of hilarity.
Mr. Brackens, take me to the day you found out Ms. Moody was pregnant.
I kind of had an idea she was taking the pregnancy test and such. She went in my bathroom, took the pregnancy test. I busted in on her. She tells me it's positive, she's pregnant. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it could be another guy, but I take it upon myself. I want this kid to be mine.
And yet, despite your devotion, your doubt still kept creeping in.
Drum roll, please, for the grand finale. The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brackens, you are her father.